What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we have the Southaven cities round 4, and if I remember correctly, on the left we should have Scott Modern, and on the right we should have Blake Pennington. Now we know at the Memphis cities we saw that Scott did play the Mega Manectric deck, and I don't think we ever saw Blake really on stream, but if I remember correct, I think he played an Yveltal deck as well, and it seems like they both have sticked with the same decks. Now, if Blake plays the Gallade in his Yveltal deck, then he has an advantage against this Mega Manectric deck, because I know for sure that Scott does not play any Flash Energies, which means Blake can hit for weakness if he does get the Gallade out. But the question is, does he play the Gallade? Does he play the Maxis? I am not sure. I have not seen his list, and right now that's not a Gallade. That's not a Gallade. It's not a Gallade list, but it's not. What was I'm trying to say? He does have the Terminal Glade in his hand if he does have the Glade regardless. I think his only supporter is a Hex Maniac. And we see Scott have some Mega Manectrics. He got the Lightning Energies. And if you don't know Scott, he makes sure he has everything blinged out. If there's a full art, he's got it. If there's the most, well, I don't know if it's the most expensive card, but he always make sure everything, his stuff is blinged out. I'm not sure what we are waiting for, but we can, I'll talk some more. On the right is Blake, and he's from Alabama. I think from Birmingham, but don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. And Scott is from the Nashville area. Some of the people had to drive, not that far, but a good distance to get to this event. And okay, we're just waiting to see what will happen. So who do you think is going to win? Do you think the Mega Manectric player is going to win? Do you think the Yveltal player is going to win? Sorry about this. I didn't even know what's going on. And if you're watching this right now and wondering why is there one video a day, because I know it's very strange that there's a video a day. I mean, it's actually Christmas time, or I'm actually in a Tennessee marathon, and that's why you're seeing one video being uploaded every day. I think it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is when we're uploading all the videos, because there are 5 rounds. I don't think I explained that in any of the videos, and that's because I recorded those other 2 videos pretty early, but I decided to make them during the whole week, just uploading one each day, because I'll be out of town playing the marathon. And here we go. Alrighty, so we see that Blake does play the Zora, so he does play the Zorak, and we see a Acrobike discarding Acrobike. We see a trainer as well from Blake, and it looks like he probably does play the Zorak version. Like, why else would you play an Acrobike and Trainer's Mail? Unless you just want a really consistent Yveltal deck, then that could be a reason as well. So we see Blake gets the Muscle Band off the Trainer's Mail. Got a Muscle Band going to Zora. He's got the Ultra Ball. And let's see what he decides to discard. He's going to discard a Zorg Break. So he does play the Break and discards a Jirachi. The Jirachi is pretty much useless. Can't really use it against a Manectric deck. Unless he plays DC. And there is a Gallade in Blake's deck. So he does play the Gallade. It's just a question. Can he get the Gallade out? And if he does get the Glade out, then he probably wins this game. I don't see how Scott can really deal with that. We see a Shaman going to draw up to 4. Gets 6 cards in his hand. Does he get it? We see another Trainer's Mail. I see a Muscle Band, a Dark Energy. I don't think he has it. That'd be pretty crazy to pull off. I think I saw a Lysander flash there. Which is not good for Blake at all, because I don't think he has a supporter card in his hand. Oh, okay, Hex Maniac, and just a pass on to Scott's turn. Alright, so Scott's turn, we see a Lightning Energy go down, a Spirit Link, Rough Seas, and will he keep his hand or not? He has Escape Rope. He's going to make that Shea Bay come up to the active spot. Then he's going to Sycamore, discard that Mega Manectric. And I do like the Escape Rope play. It forces Blake, like if he doesn't have the Zork, the Shaman's going to get knocked out the following turn. But I think Blake does have that Zork in his hand. We're going to see a Manectric come down. Drainer's Mail. He could grab a Headringer and Headringer that Shea Bay, making it where it, okay, he opts to get nothing, actually. That's very interesting. Because he could Headring either Shaman, making where he can't Sky Return it, which is I think it's a good play. And we see that Blake does have the Zork for the next turn, though, so he can stand into basically the Shaman out of the way. I'm going to see an Overrun, do 40 to the active and 20 to the bench. It does 20 and 20, but it hits for weakness. Actually, it should be, never mind, yeah, that's a link. I was like, that's a Muscle Band, but it's a link. We see a Trainer's Mail, getting the Sycamore, which is good for Blake. I don't think he had a supporter card in his hand. Not that I saw, I mean, I could be wrong, maybe he does have one, but I don't think I saw one. I see the Zorak in his hand. A Dark Energy going to Zora. See the Zorak coming down. The Muscle Band going down to Shea Bay. And we'll see a Sycamore. Alright, so that's good. Yeah, it looks like Blake only had a Maxis and a Verse Seeker, maybe, I think that's what it was. So I discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. Another Zora comes down, a Battle Compressor, probably discard a Gallade. I do like the I like the Judge and the Lysander being discarded as well, so that way he can Verse Seeker for later if need be. But I do like to play a lot, getting the Gallade in the discard pile. The question is, will he ever get the Gallade out? It looks like he might be able to next turn if he could top deck a Verse Seeker, then he'll be a-okay. Well, let's see. We'll probably see the Zora come in, stand in, and hit for 40 or for 60. Oh, he's got a muscle band, that's why. Rough Seas bringing down to 30. There's a Lightning Energy, a Band, Sycamore, discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. And he'll need a Mega Manectric, and there's a Mega Manectric. Now, this is going to put Blake in a weird situation. Scott's going to use the Battle Compressor to get some energies in the discard pile. Probably discard that Lysander. I'm not sure if Scott has any energies in the discard pile, but if he doesn't, he needs to put them in there so that when he Turbo Bolts this turn, he can power up that bench Manectric EX. And I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing 2 Lightning Energies. So it looks like 2 Lightnings and a Lysander. Okay, Lightning, Lysander, and a Hex Maniac. There might be one in there already, and that's why he opted just to get the one. I'm not sure what's all in his discard pile right now. Pretty sure Scott knows. Or maybe not. Okay, maybe not. We'll see. He does have the Mega Manectric coming down. Trainer's Mail. He could grab the Ultra Ball. He accidentally drew another card, but he showed his opponent, which that's usually what you want to do. If you draw too many, you usually just show your opponent, put him on top of the deck. Mistakes do happen, but it's fair enough. At least he showed it to Blake. But we're going to see an Ultra Ball probably come down, discarding Sycamore and the Water Energy, which is good for Scott, because now he does have the 2 energies to go, and he could Mega Evolve this turn as well. He already has that Mega Manectric, and Turbo Bolt knocking out the Zora, taking a prize card. And now Blake's in a weird spot. Like, I don't know how Blake can really deal with these Mega Manectrics unless he gets down the Gallade. There we see an Acrobike. We see a Trainer's Mail. Does he get the Verse Seeker? That's what he needs. And I think that was a Verse Seeker. And if it was, then he's going to be in good shape. He can get it out. He does have double Ultra Ball in his hand. Maybe he doesn't have... Yeah, I think regardless, he should have enough. If he has to discard a Pokemon to get it out, then he could do that as well. Looks like he's contemplating some stuff. He does have the Floatstone. He does have double Ultra Ball. He can Floatstone... he has to attach the DC for turn as well, which is kind of tricky. Because you have to attach the DCE probably to whoever you get out. And we're going to see the Zoroark come out. So he could DC the Zoroark and just let it get knocked out. That's probably his only option. Or he could DC Shaman, which I do like. Yeah, DC the Shaman, Verse Seeker for the Maxis. And then you can get out the Gallade. And then you get Sky Return, picking up that Shaman, making it where Scott can't knock it out. So that's a really good play by Blake, and I do like that DC going out to active. We've seen the Zoroark come down. And this way he gets Sky Return, do 50, and then send in the Zora to get knocked out. We see a Premonition rearrange the top 5 cards of his deck. There we go. And it doesn't seem like he has a supporter card, but with Premonition, anything's possible. We're going to see a Sky Return doing 50, and then send up the Zora. Alrighty. And I can't see how many damage counters are on that Mega Manectric, but I think there should be 5, 6, 7, 8. It should be 5 if he Rough Seas. I think there was 30. No, it was 20. No, he had 60 minus 30, 30, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. So it should be 5 on there. Unless I did the math wrong. I'm not sure if I did or didn't. But we'll see what happens. We see a Battle Compressor discarding a Regice, Rough Seas, and something else. We see a Verse Seeker grabbing a Judge. I imagine he grabbed a Judge and put both players at 4 cards, which I do like a lot because Scott knows that Blake does have a DCE and a Shaman in his hand, which is very easily for him to knock out this Mega Manectric that turn. All he needs is a supporter card and the DC, and he's good to go. Now, Blake only gets 4 cards. They both only get 4, and Scott draws in a double Shaman, I'm pretty sure. We see Retreat, going to send the other Mega Manectric, and I don't think he uses there's no real need to use your Shamans right now. Okay, or maybe there is. He gets out the Articuno. He could use for Tri-Edge. I'm not sure if I like the Shamans being put down. They are just easy Gallade targets, but regardless, the Glades are going to take a knockout either way. He does have to put his energies on somewhere. Might as well put him on the Shaman, so that way if they get Lysander, he could retreat it. On to Blake's turn, does he get the DC Lysander or DC supporter card? He does have a Verse Seeker in his hand. We see an Ultra Ball discarding a Manectric and a Battle Compressor. Now, Blake can get down another Gallade this turn. He pretty much will, like, win the game. Like, there's no way that Scott can handle that. 2 Glades as impossible. But we see a third Zoro coming down from Blake. It seems like he's running a heavy Zorak line. Usually you only see a 2-2, but we see that Blake is planning to make maybe a 3-3-2. Like, it's a second Zorak break. And we see a Sycamore as well. Discarding his hand, drawing 7 new cards, but he had no cards in his hand. And does he get the DC? There is the DC retreat because the Zorak does have a Flowstone, and we will see Premonition from the Gallade. And I can't remember Gallade's attack, but it does 130. Yeah, it does 130 if you play a supporter card. It does 70 plus 60 if you play a supporter card. So we'll see the Gallade take a knockout. We see a Toad, DCE, Trainer's Mill. And oh no, the Toad coming out of nowhere could be very bad for Blake if he's not prepared for it. Like if he draws into a support, like item cards that he don't need, it's gonna be a weird situation for sure. We'll see a Super Rod from Scott, gonna get back a Manectric and a Mega Manectric, and Lightning Energy. Okay, that's fine. Not really sure. Like Super Rod is definitely an interesting card, and Mega Manectric, like. By the time you Super Rod back in your Mega Manectrics, you might just lose the game, or maybe you're missing that one key piece of Mega Manectric. Then that could be very useful. I don't. It's definitely awkward. We see a Toad come up, and we're gonna see a Punch for 50. All right, on to Blake's turn. We see the Zorak coming down, and does he have? There's a Dark Energy. Does he have a? Oh, he's actually gonna Quake and Punch here. Zorak break is gonna copy Siphon Toad and use Quake and Punch. Yep, so he's going to Quake Punch for 30. But the thing about this is, we're going to see Rough Seas heal that 30 damage, which, okay. We see an Articuno come down, a Water Energy, and we'll see a Quack for 3. Or for 5, because of Muscle Band. We see Baby Yveltal, Dark Energy go down to Zork, or DC go down to Zork, and we'll see another... oh, he actually uses Grenade Hammer, doing 130 and hitting both his Yveltals for 30 apiece. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. Oh man, that is so cool. So he decides to a second attack with Grenade Hammer. It does 130, and you do 30 to 2 of your bench Pokemon. He puts on both the Yveltal, saying, I don't really care about these Pokemon. They can be hurt. And we see Scott does have the Verse Seeker, going to Light Center up that Gallade. And he could retreat if he could attach the Lightning Energy, retreat, and Mega Manectric, but he's actually just going to Quake and Punch for another 50. We see the Zork. Which one does he send? He's going to send the one without, not the break one. And we'll see a Mind Jack for the knockouts. And Blake will go down to 2 prize cards. All right, can Blake finish the game up? We see another stand-in. Looks like he wants to keep the other Zork alive, I guess. Not really sure why. I mean, it doesn't matter. Regardless, like either one's going to get knocked out. We see a Shaman. So now I don't know if I like that play for Scott, putting down another Shaman, because right now it's a 3, 6, 9. And that's a knockout now. If I do the math right, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Yeah, I think that's a knockout. But it looks like we're going to see an Articuno take... Oh, nope. Just going to put Chilling Side. Put him to sleep. But it doesn't really matter. Let's see. Tails, but... Blake can just double stand in. If he has a Verse Seeker, he can bring up the Shaman to take a knockout. So we'll see a Muscle Band go down to Yveltal. We'll see a stand in. And Verse Seeker for the Light Center, bring up Shaman, good game. He's going to bring up the Manectric EX and use Gallade either way. I mean, regardless, he had the win with the... I guess regardless, if he had a Verse Seeker, it really didn't matter if Scott put down the other Shaman. Scott really needed a judge to basically... get rid of Blake's hand. So you see Blake go win the first game, and it's just like the Mega Manectric it's just hard for them to deal with the Gallade. It has 150 HP, so Mega Manectric has to 2-shot it while it's continuously one-shotting you over and over again. And how do you really handle that? I am not sure, but we see Blake win the first game, and on to game 2. Scott will go first, but will Blake get the turn 1 Gallade or not? That is definitely the big question of the day. If he gets the turn 1 Gallade, it's pretty much just game over from there. Like, if you get a turn with Gallade, knock out whatever the active, and just keep doing that for 3 turns, you win the game. Like, that's how easy it is. But we'll shuffle it up here. Scott did have a really good couple of turns, though. He got the turn 2 Mega Manectric, the Turbo Bowl, powered up another Manectric, and, you know, he was going places. And here we'll set up, getting 7 new cards. It looks like they both mulliganed. Oh, yep, they both mulliganed. There we go. It looks like Blake, as well, is playing very rarity cards. Like he had golden verse seekers, golden trainers mail. I'm not sure if Blake does play all blinged out. I know Scott does for sure. I'll pay attention to this game. We'll see for sure if Blake is playing an all blinged out deck or not. So 7 new cards. We see Scott Mulligan, and we see double Ultra Balls. That's like what? Double golden Ultra Balls is like $100 or something like that. Something crazy. Now we see that Blake does have the Gallade in his hand. He's got some Dark Energies, a Zork. He's got a Verse Seeker. He's got an Ultra Ball. He really does have like a really good hand to hit the turn 1 maxis if he gets the right cards. We'll see a Toad come up to act spot. Both players get 6 prize cards. Blake will take his mulligan. And let's start the party. Alright, so Toad is up in the act spot, which is good for Scott. It makes it where Blake cannot get a turn 1 knockout if he gets that Gallade out. So we'll have to see what happens. Here we see a Battle Compressor discarding a Sycamore, Lysander, and a Hex Maniac. Okay. And we see another Battle Compressor he could play straight away. We see an Ultra Ball discarding the Battle Compressor and maybe the Articuno. Yeah, going to discard the Articuno. What, is he trying to discard 3 cards? Scott, you can't discard 3 cards. What are you doing? We're going to see an Ultra Ball, probably grabbing, okay, a Manectric. So he's probably going to attach a Water Energy to Manectric and play Judge, putting Blake at 4 cards. I mean, that's only his real option. There's a Link, there's a Water Energy, and then we see a Judge. So both players get 4 cards, and let's see if Blake can get a turn. If Blake gets a turn 1 Maxie's Gallade off of 5 cards, that would be impressive. Like 5 cards. Like, I mean, it's easily done. If you get an Ultra Ball, double Gallade, that's 3. A Verse Seeker and Energy, that's 5 right there. But that'd be some crazy 5 cards. And we see, we see a Battle Compressor, an Acrobike, a Verse Seeker, and a Muscle Band. Let's see what happens. We're gonna see a Battle Compressor, discarding Gallade, a Maxie's, and a Lysander. Oh man. Maybe a Sycamore. Alright, so we'll discard those 3. Alright, let's see. Does he get the turn 1 Maxis or not? I mean, I think he does have it. I mean, I think it depends. Oh, no, he's got the Ultra Ball. He could discard Acrobike. No! Oh, no, I think he... Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Okay, discard the Battle Compressor. Don't play Shaman. Is that a Verse Seeker saying? If that's a Verse Seeker, you just go for the knockout right now. Okay, that's not a Verse Seeker. Never mind, I lied. I lied. Don't worry. Blake knows what he's doing. Alright, and we see a Trainer's Mail in his hand. He could use that to draw, maybe draw the Verse Seeker that he needs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does he hit the Verse Seeker or not? It doesn't seem like it. He would have slammed it down fairly quickly. We see an Acrobite coming down. Does he get the Verse Seeker or not? Is the big question of the day. There we see an Acrobite. Does he get the Verse Seeker? Discards the other Yveltal. And it looks like he whiffed it. He's got the Ultra Ball. I think even if he had it, well, I think if he... Yeah, I think he could have had it if he hit a Verse Seeker. We see an Ultra Ball discarding a Break and a Sycamore. Does he have another Shebe? And he's going to go for another Shebe. Oh my goodness, the party keeps going on for Blake. When will Blake stop? We see a Zorak, a Shaman, drawn 4. We see a DCE. We see a Zoro coming down. And do we see anything else or not? I think I see a Jirachi and a DC. It's very hard to tell from the side. We see a Trainer's Mail. Gonna look at the top 4 cards of his deck. And he does have the Acrobike. He can keep on going with the party. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing Acrobike. The party's gonna keep on going. But I don't know what Blake's trying to do. I think his hand is too clogged with stuff to even get out the Gallade this turn. Acrobike for 2. And he's debating. Discards the Yveltal. Yeah, pretty much useless in this matchup for sure. He's got another Battle Compressor, a Jirachi, a Zoroark. Yeah, I think Blake's hand's too crowded now to even get out the Gallade. We see a Battle Compressor, discard 2 Darks, and he can use a Blibwing for 50 and power up maybe the Yveltal and or the Zor. We'll see what Blake decides to do. And we'll see a Blibwing, put 30, and a Dark Energy to the Yveltal. Alright, so on to Scott's turn. He's been waiting for about 30 minutes, and we see a Mega Manectric come down, Shaman drawn to 6. He's got the Water Energy on the active. And let's see, we're going to see a Sycamore discarding his hand drawn 7 new cards. 6 and 7. Alright, he gets a Link, another Mega Manectric down. Wow. Alright, Scott just keeps the party going. And we see a Quick Punch for 30. Now on to Blake's turn, and let's see what Blake can do. It doesn't look like he has he has a Lysander. He could bring up Shaman. We see a Zoar coming down. He does have the DC as well, 3, 6, 9, 10. It's not a knockout though. So it only does 100 damage, so it's not a knockout. Let's see what else. I think I think it's 10 plus 30, if I remember correctly. I can never remember Zork math because it's different than Absol math, which is what I always remember when I do stuff. We see a Blue Wing for 50, put in another Dark Energy Yveltal on the bench. We see a Lightning Energy going to Mega Manectric, and Scott looks to discard pile to see what he has. He could judge Blake, but I don't really see the point of that. Blake doesn't really have anything. We haven't seen Blake really do anything the past couple turns. So I wouldn't contemplate the judge for sure. We'll see. Not sure what he used. Maybe the Birch? Oh, buddy, did we just see a Birch play? That's going to be very exciting if we see a Birch. You know, sometimes you just got to risk it to get the biscuit. But we'll see what happens. I see Blake pointing at the judge. And here we go, and it looks like a heads, maybe? Yep, that's a heads. Yep, 6 and 7. All right, so Birch coming in clutch, getting those 7 cards. Alrighty, and let's see what Scott decides to do this turn. He's got an Ultra Ball, discarding a Head Ringer, and a Hoopa. Hoopa. I don't know why I always say Hoopa's name like that. When I see Hoopa, I just want to go Hoopa. Like I don't know why. I guess I'm weird like that. But we're gonna see not get anything off the Ultra Ball, and maybe just another punch. I mean, we can't really do anything. We see a Manectric, a Shaman, drawing some more cards. Look at Scott's hand. It is so blinged out. He literally has like golden full art reverse hollow in his hand right now. That is crazy. Looks like we're going to see a Muscle Band going on active. He's contemplating where does his Muscle Band go. I mean, your only option is the Toad, unless you're going to Sky Return with Shaman. We see a band going on to Manectric EX, okay. Yeah, it's like gold in the hand stammer, like other golden stuff. That is crazy. That's such a beautiful hand. And we see a Quake Punch doing 30. I actually would like to see the Muscle Band going down to Toad so we can two-shot this Yveltal. Because right now, like, Scott's next turn, he's going to punch for 30. It's going to bring him up to 90. We see a DC going down to Zork, and that Zork's DC is going to be knocked out. We know that Scott does have the enhanced hammer in his hand. So let's see what Blake decides to do. He could judge, putting both players at 4. Ooh, that gets rid of Scott's enhanced hammer. Take that, Scott. No golden enhanced hammer for you next turn. I think it was a golden enhanced hammer. It looked like a golden enhanced hammer. I could be wrong, though. It could be anything. I don't know. Both players get 4 cards, though, and let's see what we get. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We see a Head Ringer, DCE, Water, and a Muscle Band on Scott's side of the field, which is not good at all. That's not what you want to see. And we'll see a... that was Blake playing the judge. Sorry about that. And we see the Toad get knocked out. Mega Manectric come up. And let's see. He drops a DCE, Muscle Band, Retreat, Head Ringer, that Shebe, Sycamore, drawing 7 new cards. He could put down the Rough Seas. I think the Rough Seas is just going to stick regardless. I don't think Blake plays any Stadium cards. We see a Super Rod probably getting back. Okay, a Toad. I was going to say maybe some energies. But we see a Toad. Articuno might be clutch as well. I don't know how great of a card it is in this matchup, but it could be cute. Just to have the ability to Chilling Side would need be. But it looks like he's just going to get a Toad and some energies back. Alright, and let's see what else can happen. We're going to see a Turbo Ball for sure. I'm not sure what's happening. Okay, I know what happened. Alright, I think Blake was, I don't know, I actually don't know what happened. Okay, we're fine, whatever. We've seen Ultra Ball discarding Enhanced Hammer. And a, let's see an Escape Rope. Okay, let's see what he decides to dig for. A Toad. He could maybe Grenade Hammer to knock out those Shamans, take those 2 prize cards fairly quickly. Alright, and we'll see a Turbo Bolt, knocking out the Zorak and 2 energies, probably going out to the Toad. I imagine that's what he'll do since he put down the Toad. Yep, we'll see. Yeah. Oh, wait for it. Wait for it. Let's see where they go. Alright. And he's going to put on the Toad. Now, I'm not sure how much I like this play. It's definitely kind of risky because if Scott can get out of Gallade this turn and knock out the only Mega Manectric that's powered up, he can't Turbo Bolt the following turn. We see a Baby Yveltal coming up. And on to Blake's turn, and let's see what happens. Will Blake ever get this Gallade down or not? It looks like he's trying to figure out right now, can he get the Gallade or not? Yeah, he's got it. He's got the Gallade this turn if he opts to do that. We're seeing Zora coming down with an energy. He's got the Ultra Ball in his hand. He's got the Battle Compressor and a Verse Seeker, and that's enough right there to get out the Maxi. So, yeah, Blake could be in good shape. We see an Ultra Ball discarding Ultra Ball and a Verse Seeker, and then a Battle Compressor. He has to discard at least 3 cards. Or at least 1. That's all he really has to do with this combo. With the Ultra Ball, you're allowed to fail it whenever you want to. But we see a Hex Maniac. I'd actually, if I was Blake, I might discard that Jirachi as well in there. We know that Scott does play special energies now. While at the beginning of the game, I didn't think he did. I'm not sure how great of a card Jirachi will be. We see a Verse Seeker getting out the Maxis, getting the Gallade, drawing 5 cards, and that's pretty much going to be like game once this Gallade starts swinging. I can't really see, unless Scott has an Energy Lysander next turn to knock out the Gallade. Oh, he needs a Muscle Band because it only does 130, so he'll need a Muscle Band, Verse Seeker, Energy next turn to knock out this Gallade. It looks like we're seeing Premonition from Blake, rearrange top 5 cards of his deck. And it looks like we'll just see an Oblivion Wing for 50. And if I was him, I might put the Dark Energy onto the Zora. Oh, he doesn't have any Dark Energy in his discard pile. We see a Rough Seas. And let's see what Scott decides to do. Like I said, if he does have that Lysander Energy Muscle Band play, he definitely wants to do that. But I don't think he has it. We see a DC going on to Shea Bay. It looks like we might see a Sky Return for 50. Let's see. Now, the interesting thing to know about the Blake, though, is that he doesn't have a Zoroark out, so he can't really stand in and retreat to the Gallade. But I think regardless, if Scott somehow wins this game, there's no way they can play a Game 3. Like, I don't think, like, this game's going to take us such a long time. They're either going to tie or Blake's going to win. So we'll have to see what happens. So we see Scott, Verse Seeker for Hex Maniac, shutting down all of Blake's stuff. We see Zoroark as well coming down, which is a great play by Scott because now Blake can't use his DC and stuff. We're going to see a Oblivion Wing for 50. Then the toe goes down to 20. And we see a Trainer's Mail. Does he get another Hex Maniac? That's pretty much like the only way that Scott can be saved is by blocking Hex Maniac for that Zoroark to be standing in. As soon as the Zoroark's able to stand in, the retreat to Gallade, it's like going to be game over unless Blake doesn't have a Lysander. We see a Birch from Scott. He's going to shuffle his hand into his deck, and let's see what he gets. I think it was a Tails. Yeah, just Tails. Only 4 cards. Alrighty. And we'll probably just see a Punch, or he could Grenade Hammer right now if he wants to. Oh, a Punch knocks it out. No, it doesn't. It'll leave it at 10 HP left. Oh, buddy, it's such a weird spot right now. He could put an Energy on Toad, retreat, and knock out Mega Manectric, but that's just like a Death Wish. We see another Quake Punch for 30. We see a Dark Energy. No, we don't. A DC going on to Zoroark. Okay. And let's see what Blake decides to do. Premonition, looking at the top 5 cards of his deck. Imagine if he has a supporter card, that would be the number 1 card to put on top of his deck. I'm going to rearrange those 5, see a stand in, and we will see a Mind Jack for the knockout. It does 160, if I remember correctly. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, and then with the 30 damage is the knockout. Alright, so Blake's down to 2 prize cards. What can Scott really do this turn? If Blake gets an DC Lysander next turn, he's going to win. We see a Verse Seeker for a Lysander. Let's see who he brings up. He's going to bring up Shea Bay. We're going to see an Energy go down, and we'll see a Turbolt. Now, Blake has a Lysander. He just wins the game right here. Let's see what happens. Look, it's going to send the Gallade. And the Turbolts, okay, he's deciding where the energies go. And they go down to Mega Manectric on to Blake's turn. He gets the Acrobike. And we see the DCE. Does he have a Lysander? Bring up the Mega Manectric. And there we see Blake take the game 2-0, beating the Manectric deck, which is pretty easy game for the Yveltal Gallade deck. If you get the Gallade out, you pretty much win the game. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching round 4 of the Southaven cities, and we'll see you in top 4 because round 5 did not get recorded, so we actually skip round 5 and we'll go to top 4 of the Southaven cities. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Alrighty.